Very good morning to all of you. Today we have National Education Day. I am so happy to be the part of this unique occasion. At the outset, my compliment to IIC members for their initiative to organize such a unique program. The two inviting Dr. Vijay Kumar Chinnadurai, scientist DRDO, belongs to our region. So, as a principal, my best wishes to you, sir, for this important occasion. Dr. Amuda, Dr. Rakimuthu, Dr. Neelamadi, Suresh Kumar, and other IIC members, students, coordinators. Once again, my best wishes to all of you. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was the first Minister for Education of Indian government after independence. He introduced a lot of innovative measures to develop the higher education. He focused the equal, accessible, and quality education to all. He is a visionary politician, remarkable prose writer, and a notable commentator. He was a genius ahead of his peers and used to guide and teach people who were superior to him. He emphasized about the teacher. A teacher should build the capacities of the spirit of inquiry, creativity, entrepreneurship among the students, and he or she should become a role model. This message is emphasized by Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. That's why Government of India has been celebrating his birthday as a National Teachers' Day. My dear students, you are all aware of that. September 5th is the Teachers' Day for Tamil Nadu. Since the day is a birthday of the great scholar, versatile leader, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan belongs to Tamil Nadu. That's why we have been observing his birthday as a Teachers' Day of Tamil Nadu, like that. Maulana Bharat Ratna, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. He gave much importance to the higher education. That's why we have been observing his birthday as a Teachers' Day across the country. Now the Government of India insisting the IIC Council should adopt these kind of days to create awareness among the students about the value of the teaching fraternity. In this juncture, I don't want to take much of your time. I would like to mention one thing about Alexander the Great. You are all aware of that. He was the great ruler or great leader, but he has written in his diary or his table that I owe my birth to my parents, but life to my teacher. This quotable quotation shows his concern on his teacher Aristotle. Alexander the Great belongs to a royal family, a sophisticated family. He was a king, he was a monarch. But when his armed persons fought against across the European countries, across Asian continent, when they tried to invade India, he ordered to his general to march towards India. At that moment, his army general replied that, "Sir, our soldiers are not willing to fight against India because they have been affected by homesick. They want to return to home." At once, his army general response, he replied that yes. Without any second thought, he replied that yes. That kind of attitude have taught by his teacher Aristotle. The message of this is he or she, whoever or whatever we may be there, we may occupy a greatest position, we should respect the fellow being feelings. That kind of attitude was taught by his teacher Aristotle. Like that, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad contributed a lot his mind for the development of higher education as a whole, for the development of the nation, for nation building. With this, once again, my compliment to IIC members, vice chairman, and all the members and students coordinators. Once again, on behalf of myself and the behalf of management, we extend a warm welcome to Mr. Vijay Kumar Sinadhari, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's an important time to know about our chief guest. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. A. Suresh Kumar, sir, IIC IPR Coordinator, Assistant Professor of Physics, NGM College, to introduce the chief guest.
Good morning, everybody. If Muthukumar sir permits, actually, can we go ahead for the presentation, sir?
Amada madam, hello, 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 Amada. Sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So I will share my screen.
Just a minute, Vijay Kumar sir. Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute, Vijay Kumar. Can you able to? Yeah. Just stop. Just stop sharing your screen. Short introduction by Professor Suresh.
Good morning. It is a great honor for me to introduce the research person of today's National Education Day program, Dr. C. Vijay Kumar, scientist, grade F, Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, Delhi. Dr. C. Vijay Kumar sir is our alumni and he has studied his BSc degree and MSc degree in physics at NGM College. After completing his MPhil degree from University of Hyderabad, he has obtained his PhD degree in electronic science from Pune University in the year 2009. He joined as scientist and faculty in the Armed Forces Medical College, DRDO, Pune in the year 2002. He was promoted as scientist in the Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Science, DRDO, Delhi in the year 2015. His research interest includes cognitive neuroimaging modeling, multimodal imaging, understanding brain functions using simultaneous electroencephalogram, medical image processing. He has received various awards and recognitions. Among them, few notable recognitions and achievements are he has got through CSER JRF Fellowship exam in the year 2001. He has received the Vice Chief of the Army Staff Commendation Award on Army Day in the year 2009. He received the Chief of the Army Staff Commendation Award on Army Day in the year 2012. He was awarded with AFMC Commandant's Award in the year 2014. He has published more than 20 research papers in various international journals with high impact factor to his credit. With this brief introduction, I invite Dr. C. Vijay Kumar sir to deliver his lecture. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And actually, this much introduction is not required. A simple introduction is that I studied in that college. That's all matters. So with your permission, I'll share my screen right now. Is the screen visible to everybody, sir?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Sir, I sincerely thank Principal Sir, Muthukumar Sir, for introducing, and it is a very pleasure to see him as a principal because when I was doing my graduation from NGM College, Sir used to be one of the motivating faculty actually to really give the encouragement to go through a lot of competitive exams. So after 20 years, it's a really pleasure to see Sir in the helm of affairs. And I'm definitely actually like 100% sure that many students will be getting benefited by him actually at this position. And it is also immense pleasure to see various faculty members and then the students from the same college where I am groomed actually like. So currently actually I work in DRDO, and although I graduated in physics, in both in BSc Physics and MSc Physics as well as MPhil also, it was in physics. And but I over the time that I changed the topic from physics to the neuroimaging and the neuro science. But actually the core work actually revolves around the computational physics. There is no deviation from the core abilities. So the talk that I'll be giving today is what actually we do in our lab and how it is related to the various applications in the defense. And at the end of the talk, actually, we can have a small discussion actually where we can actually like discuss the rest of the questions around the topic. So as you know, what DRDO main focus is that you must be seeing it in various other forums. The primary focus of the DRDO is to provide the defense technologies to the services. To make the India self-reliant on many of the defense technologies, which spans from aeronautics, unmanned aerial vehicles, sonar system, radar system, and ordnance and small arms, explosive, compact engineering, and the missile and rocket system. And this is actually like most of the systems that DRDO has been developed, has been deployed into the services. And now actually like we are primarily focusing on into the future technology sides. Like what would be the future of the warfare around the world. And it's not only the future, actually in most of the war which happens around the world right now, none of the wars are being fought traditionally. They actually involves quite a lot of technological advanced equipments and cyber warfare and actually unmanned aerial vehicle warfare. So currently actually the organization looks into developing the state of the art future generation defense technologies, like something related to the drones as it was used in many wars currently, which is going on as shown in the slide, and augmented reality and virtual reality for many of the training to make the soldiers much more capable before they face the real world situations, and even actually like automatic sniper and the ammunition system, and even the hypersonic swarms and the missile defense system, which you frequently must be seeing it in the newspaper. But if you see the various categories of various defense technology as shown in the slide, either it is actually like a command control system where centrally many of the executive orders goes from, to the unmanned technologies or even weaponry system for all the three services, or even intelligence, ISR techniques, or even cyber or CBR and defense. The training of the soldier really matters. The people who actually operate this high-end equipment are really matters. And most of this training is done at a very high international standard. Actually, and most of this selection process for this getting into this stage is also very, very rigorous in Indian services. But despite that, during the extreme environment, stressful environment during the warfare, quite a lot of actually like the small decision making which needs to be done goes wrong. And such a smaller quality of mistake in the quality of decision making, actually like a lot of bigger actually like a consequence happens in the war system, despite having a very, very high advanced equipment in your hand. So for that purpose, actually like one of the new technology which has come and which is being pursued by almost every advanced country all over the world is to develop the appropriate neurotechnologies and integrate it with the advanced defense technologies in order to make the best the decision making or combat capabilities of the most of the advanced the soldier systems. So I'll just skip this. So for that purpose, actually like our institute basically engages on understanding the brain, especially actually in the extreme stressful environment. Like for example, if I have to put it much a simpler way, but a student who actually knows all the theorems, all the actually the question and the answer, if you ask him to write those answers in a normal condition, he'll be able to write it better. But in an extreme stressful condition, like in an examination, and where he's not well or where he's little emotionally actually like challenged, he was actually not in a very good mood, then that time if you ask him to write the same question and answer, he will not be performing well. And this is a very well-known fact. But if it is such a very well-known fact, if he put it in the same situation in the wartime scenarios, it leads to the very, very immense consequences. Because actually you have trained the person well, and he is also highly intelligent, he is also highly technical person. But in a stressful condition, if he doesn't take a better decision, or if he doesn't lead to the better communication or better actually like management of the high-end system, then what cannot be what. So what we try to do, we try to understand how the brain works in a normal situation and how it changes when under the extreme stressful conditions. Because actually the stress actually can be from external as well as from the internal. Like the soldiers fought in the Siachen, which is extremely cold area. They do affect quite a lot of brain functions, as well as in the desert, and as well as actually in the extremely isolated areas. So what we try to do, we put the individual in the various different extreme environment condition and understand how the brain works through the various multimodal technique. Then we develop a technology to assess whether the individual is in a appropriate cognitive state or extremely stressed condition. Then actually we try to give the shorter rehabilitation training in order to make him cope up with the particular stress and that particular moment. So that we do especially for 4 distinct cognitive domains. One is actually working memory, and working memory is basically like you can call it as a memorizing, meaning people's ability to retain information. So we all know that when we are extremely stressed, we don't remember much. We quite often forget it. We just look for here and there to recollect information. That is because of deficit of a working memory happens in a stressful condition. And the second one, we work on the attention side. And this is also like if you are totally like stressed, we lose the capability to even see things which is obviously in front of us. Most of the cognitive resources goes down to attend the stress rather than actually processing the visual data which comes from the eye and the visual cortex. Then actually that is statistical and strategical ability of an individual to take a decision. How does the brain function gets affected in the stress so that they are actually loses the ability to do the decision making. And the final one is the emotion. Actually, like this is an extremely important aspect we try to study because the war is not a very peaceful environment. So a lot of times people go through a lot of emotions, and in emotion people behave entirely different. So which we try to understand to using the development of the neurotechnologies. And what we do is basically we try to, like I said earlier, we use various multimodal technique like the EEG system, fMRI systems, and there is a technique called NIRS, near infrared spectroscopy system, in order to understand the neuronal activity and the hemodynamic response to the neuronal activity to find the functional connectivity of the human brain, how the different regions of the brain are interconnected. And this actually varies person to person. That's the reason actually each one of us are totally unique. And then we decompose them by looking into how the frontal area and the parietal area and the distinct thalamus area, which corresponds to the emotional region of the brain, is involved, and how they interact each other to basically like makes the individual entirely unique. And to make it much simpler, like in real world, a lot of times actually like we face much bigger accident in the as a result of loss of cognition due to the extreme stressful conditions. And these are actually like 2 distinct environment, where one of the environment actually like people machine actually failed because of actually like certain machinery part, but despite the individual actually tried and fought with a system to make it right, but he could not do that. But that's not the only situation actually like every day happens in the world. Actually, like there are situations like what happens on what is shown on the right side, like the pilot lost the disorientation because of the emotional actually like the thing that he was going through during the flying, and there were absolutely no problem with the flight, and he's one of the very experienced pilot also, but actually because he had a little bit of a stress because of the personal issue, he just lost the situational awareness of the airport, and which eventually actually led to the biggest accident where almost 200 people actually passed away in the Nepal. So So that means actually like both actually are the same. Like for example, loss of breaking the breakdown of the machine leads to the same kind of accident as much of actually the people's cognitive deficit because of the stressful condition. So we need to attend both the things equally. That's what we do in our work. So these are actually some of the work. So I did not go much into technical aspect of it. So what we have done in our lab as well as the product that we have developed for the services are this. So for the working memory, we have developed a cognitive assessment technology, which is based on quite a lot of computational algorithms and also various actually like theoretical framework. And today, actually, I'm not going into any of them. To basically understand how the different region of the brain basically interact in a normal situation, as I said earlier, and as well as in the stressful condition. And we found which one of the actually thing elicitates and that needs to be resolved at the later stage by the technologies. And this is actually the real-time actually monitoring system, which are accessible to outside people, so to understand how each one of the people who are involved in each one of the soldiers who are involved in the combat activity can be actually monitored. Their brain activity can be monitored on a real time, even quite a far away from the site of combat. And these works are actually published in various journal also. This is one of the journal that I put it on the slide. And to making it much simpler, like we work on various technology, like I said earlier. We simultaneously use the EEG, fMRI, and then the eye tracking techniques and the FNIRS technique to understand the various attention, cognitive loading, mental fatigue, and the various the emotional mechanisms, and also individuals' situational awareness abilities. And this is one of the algorithm that we developed, actually like which was published in 2022. Where actually like we used various the computational algorithms like microstate estimations and graph theory analysis and functional connectivity analysis, and eventually we used an artificial intelligence technique called multi-head self-attention autoencoder to integrate the information streaming from the brain and finding out whether the individual actually is identifying a particular task or not with a perfect accuracy or not. In case if the person is going through some stress, it automatically will identify that the individual is not in a right condition to do that particular task because of the stress. Then we engage the rehabilitation mechanism, which are the various types are available. And this in particularly like the cognitive load, which actually like which we quite a lot of time actually we face this scenario. Like for example, to putting it in a very lighter mode, that whenever we go through some subject classes which we do not like much, maybe something new, we generally get dozed off, and it is absolutely normal thing, and that's what we call it as a cognitive load. And that is primarily because actually since all the informations are totally new, your attention part of the brain, which is the parietal part of the brain, completely utilizes the entire attention resources and feed it into the frontal lobe. So, but over the time, actually, they lose the ability to cope up with the newer information. And because of that, actually the brain automatically starts switching off, and we start going on to the drowsiness state. And this happens actually a lot of times in a combat scenario, in a regular life also. So that is primarily because of the way in which frontal, parietal, and the thalamus part of the brain basically engaged. And so we have a mechanism to identify them in a combat scenario, and then actually like stream that information, then make the rehabilitation according to that. Because a lot of times you can see them in the face, but that is the most extreme condition in which he is going to doze off, or he is going to switch off his attention mechanisms. But we cannot go up to that level, so we need to predict it much earlier, so that actually like we can actually like divert him into some other task, so that he always becomes fresh and he's able to attend to what is going in front of him. So that's a technology which has been developed. And then actually like the emotional decoding has been also done in our side to understand like you we try to understand how, as we know that brain has two independent hemisphere which does the same thing. But the way in which actually both the hemisphere interact each other decides what kind of personality we are, emotional personality we are in. So we try to use a neurotechnology to identify how the left hemisphere interacts with the right hemisphere and how that dynamics changes over the time. And then we keep tracking them and trying to understand actually like whether that information can be fine-tuned by over the time through the various interventional technologies. So this work actually has a lot of influence or impact on the normal situations also, but primarily we focus it on our combat scenarios. So, so if you see, although the subject actually like looks totally new and out of the syllabus, but as I said earlier, my background is physics. I did BSc and MSc physics and as well as MPhil physics. And I didn't had any other specialized course or something, because the work actually involves only the theoretical component of physics, mathematics, and chemistry and biology, or more biology. Chemistry is actually used for neurochemistry is only used for understanding how the various neurochemical changes happens in the brain. But otherwise, actually, the entire work falls on if you are good at theoretical physics, computational physics, and the modeling, and if you have very good inclination in the neurobiology, then actually like this particular field is basically like can be easily handled. There is nothing beyond that actually. Like if you carefully see, like I told you earlier, like I'll just go back to this technique that we use. So the fMRI technique is nothing but a NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance, and EEG technique is nothing but actually like if you are good at electromagnetic theory, EEG technique actually you can easily learn them actually like. And NIRS is actually near infrared spectroscopy. So if you carefully look at it, all the three techniques are physics techniques. And eye tracking actually like it's a simple dynamics that we just have to handle the numerics or computational algorithm to manage it. So the data processing of all the four techniques involves the huge amount of knowledge in the physics side and also computational algorithms on the management. So that's why actually like I could able to actually like recommend this particular field to many other people. Students come from physics and the electronic engineering, or actually like or even to some extent actually mathematics and biology students. Actually there was many students from that branch actually like. So with that actually like I will not take much time, and thank you for giving an opportunity. And if you have any question, we can always discuss or we can actually like try to actually like bring more clarity into it. Thank you.
Any queries?
Sir, I am having one doubt, sir. Sir,
Hello.
sir, regarding the computational method you have told, sir, for MSc Physics,
Yes.
what type of lab we can arrange, and the theory side, what type of syllabus we can keep it, sir?
No, actually, like if I recollect, actually, what are the things which I learned in during the college and got really benefited was actually like all the numeric technique. Actually, like to be very honest, actually that the computational algorithms like there is actually like the subject we had called mathematics physics, mathematical physics. So where we learned actually like the Fourier transform, Laplace transform, wavelet transform, right? And even to understand the solid state physics, actually like we need to know the K-space, right? And a lot of mathematics behind it has to be learned. Like even to understand say Bose-Einstein theory, we need to know the basic distribution. Actually, like Boltzmann distribution, you need to know. Fermi-Dirac distribution, you need to know. So if you are just learning those subjects with a proper understanding and proper mathematical knowledge behind it, and that is more than enough, to be very honest with you. You do not have to any specific specialized course behind it. In fact, the whatever subject, the classic subject that we are like, I still remember learning classical mechanics in the Goldstein book. Nobody takes the Goldstein book, at least my time. I do not know what is the case right now. They always prefer some other books which is easier for them to write the exams. But we took some of my batchmates and we chose to use the Goldstein book. The problem with the Goldstein book, unless you know the mathematics behind the Euler theorem or classical dynamics, or even actually the basic dynamics that we have to learn in the physics, if you don't know them, then you will not be able to understand them. But if you just focus on those core theoretical aspect of those physics part, that's more than enough. Like to be very honest with you, most of the papers which are being published currently derives quite a lot of inspiration from those theory which are taught in classical mechanics. Even that the microstate which I talked about deals with the Euclidean distance only, which I learned in Goldstein book in 1999. So even that Fourier transform is being used in processing the EEG signals. Actually, like the alpha, beta, gamma, delta waves are nothing but Fourier transform results of the EEG patterns. Actually, like so, whatever subject, whether quantum mechanics or classical mechanics or solid state physics, if you learn with those mathematics behind it, that's more than enough. So rather than jumping into new field or new specialized and ignoring the classical subject, better learn the classical subject as it is. That is my actually like suggestion actually.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning,
This is Dr. Manjula from Department of Physics. Very nice
morning,
presentation. And thank you so much, sir. But I just need an information from you regarding for the student side. I think you have actually completed your doctorate in Pune and you actually went from Hyderabad to Pune, so you were able to join DRDO. But at present, our student community here, I don't think they have the awareness of joining there. But if you could just tell us what are the means, like how they can take up the exam, or what is the possibility of joining the organizations like that, it will be of more useful to them.
Ma'am, actually, like probably sometimes we don't read things properly. I did BSc, MSc in NGM, both actually. So in the same college, so good or bad, it goes to NGM only. Right? Like no other organization got involved. Yes, I was in Hyderabad University for my MPhil, but if you carefully look at it, I finished MSc in the year of 2001. Actually, I'm the batch of 99 to 2001, and BSc is 96 to 99. Now, I cleared CSIR in the 2001, in the same month of when I was finishing my fourth semester, the exam that I appeared in, the result came 6 months later.
Oh.
So during that time, actually, I also appeared, obviously, like every student, we apply many places. And I applied for a Hyderabad University and I got selected there also. And I got a fellowship because I stood first in the entrance also. So I was there in the MPhil. But then the result came, CSIR came 6 months later. Then they give you again additional 6 months to join. So then I went to IGCAR Kalpakkam to join for my PhD. So if you carefully see, I got tested in Hyderabad University as against rest of the subject and other thing, but the core learning was happened in the NGM only. Like BSc and MSc, actually the preparation of a CSIR is what made the difference, to be very honest with you. So that happened there only. So it is not that I completed NGM and went to Hyderabad University and learned everything there and jumped into DRDO. No, that's not right. I learned everything in the NGM college, then cleared the CSIR, and that CSIR qualification helped me in DRDO selection. And CSIR preparation helped me in clearing the Hyderabad University also, because their entrance is tough. So it is the preparation during your BSc and MSc time matters, not something that you go down to some place and you pick up something. So for coming back to the question, how do you get through the DRDO or BRC or even ISRO or even many other opportunities which are available? First thing first, be aware of the entrance examination that are available to all of you. One of the entrance examination, which I always feel we take the students based on that, is a net qualification for any science graduate. So, and that really tests your talent in the subject. It just doesn't go by what mark we score. It's just how much is your understanding, your mathematical capability to solve the problem posed in your core subject. So while doing the BSc and MSc, we have to have a good understanding of our subject, core subject. That's what I'm emphasizing, the core subject. Like if you are a physics student, I expect us to be good at classical mechanics, and if any problem given from a standard textbook like a Goldstein or any other book, solid state physics from the Mittal, any books comes, or Osborne, any book, any problems are given, the student should be able to solve those problems, not the ability to write the theory behind the question. That doesn't help anywhere. So we should have the problem solving capabilities and proper understanding of everything that we do, and then orient them towards many of the competitive exams. So like a CSIR exam you have, and various other institutions entrance examination we have, that if you prepare right from BSc level, I think you can easily crack into any of these organizations, because selection is always based on these criteria. They don't look into which institution you come from, what is your percentage. Percentage is only used for a qualification. Beyond that, it's not useful. So that's all important, man. So my suggestion is actually like prepare for a CSIR and UGC net, and clear it at the earliest, and get the fellowship, and then go down to the better institute, and then get more exposure and the confidence. Like the Hyderabad University gave me a lot of confidence, because I went to the Hyderabad University. I got actually a good ranking in the this one. Good ranking in the selection also. I got a fellowship, and even subsequently in the entrance examination also I could able to stood first. And the other students were also good, and they were also good from the various good universities also. So, but that made me feel that education in NGM is very good. So that confidence and the preparation is all required, nothing else.
Thank you so much, sir. It is so nice to hear that NGM has given you more confidence. And of course, we have not changed much of the syllabus, only like the latest updates we have given. So I think what we have is sufficient for them to crack any exam, right, sir? Following the right kind of books.
Yeah, actually, like they should be able to solve all the problems.
Okay.
Meaning, one is a semester exam where we give the question and they draw the diagram and write about it, half a page, 1 page, and half of the time they secure 70-60% of the mark by the way we write, and information adds on and go down to the 90%. But that doesn't help anywhere. So instead, if you have informal exams where you just pick up the problem statement and give the problems. So if you understand the two dynamics, the two-dimensional dynamics of any rigid body, you just give him the practical problem and ask him to calculate the velocity and the acceleration or various momentum values. Ask him to calculate it.
Okay.
If they are managed to do that, and then they will be able to crack the competitive exam. If they are training themselves to write the essays, then they will not be able to crack. That is the fundamental the understanding, man, that I learned over that. So during my time, we had a group of students, actually like my classmates, we used to solve problems for CSIR exams actually. And at that time, the faculties were also very helpful. There were Rangasamy sir, there was a Christopher sir, and Satyabama ma'am also was there. She was my teacher also. Ma'am taught me solid state physics actually. Like so, actually like the Anand sir was there. Anand sir right from actually like we really miss him right now actually. Sir was my first class. He took my first class in BSc actually, like in electronics. So there are various faculty members actually. They helped us, and that made a lot of difference.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay Kumar, for accepting my invitation and being here to
Thank you,
share
ma'am.
your
Thank you.
experience.
Your ideas are truly inspired us. Thank you for this wonderful session, sir. Now, I would like to call upon Mr. T. Manigandan, sir, Assistant Professor and Business Administration, IIC member, NGM College, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good morning to one and all. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this special occasion. I, on behalf of Institution Innovation Cell, convey deep regards and hearty thanks to our teachers, Vijay Kumar Chinadre, scientist here, coordinator for the Machine Learning Division, Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Science, DRDO Delhi, for accepting initiation in spite of his busy schedule and delivering an excellent presentation on the occasion of national education. Thank you, sir. And I also and IAC President Dr. Muthukumaran sir, who supported in all possible manner to organize this program on National Education Day. A big thank you to IAC College Vice President Dr. Indumati ma'am, convener of this program Dr. Amaga ma'am, and co-convener of this program Dr. R. Rakimuthu sir, for their efforts towards taken to organize this program. Thank you, sir. My special thanks to Dr. E. Neelambi ma'am, IAC Internship Coordinator, for his welcome address. And I would also like to thank Dr. A. Suresh Kumar sir, IAC IPR Coordinator, for introducing our today's chief guest. And I would like to thank our beloved coordinators and members of IAC for involvement in this program. I thank the students for their passion listening, our technicians and electricians for the supporting this function to become a cancer vaccine. Thank you, one and all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. I would also like to thank each and every one of you being here and making this day wonderful and memorable. National Anthem.
जनगणमनाधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तब जय गादा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे